Station, station, come on, baby. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling, shake it up Saturday. Yes, that day of the week where we get to. So thank you for tuning in. Please click the like button if you are watching this on YouTube button, or and the notification button so you get notification whenever we do post any new videos. I tell you, my brain's like a sieve today. But it has been an awesome, awesome day. So how has your Shake It Up Saturday been? What did you do today to shake up your Saturday? Please let us know in the comments below. I'm always looking for new ideas to shake things up a little bit. Today it was actually a very interesting day. So I had a call with a new potential client. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. Really, really enjoyed our conversation. And her mysteries, what I'm going to be doing with her family tree is exciting. There's some little twists and turns in it, which you all know I love the mysteries. I love looking for those little twisty turny bits. And this would probably be, this is going to be a really good mystery to unravel. It's going to be, there's a lot of unraveling that needs to be done. And I would say it's going to be my biggest one so far. And I've done a few of them over the years, but this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one. I'm super excited to get started on this. So, I had a great conversation. After that, I went out and got my mail. And while I was out, usually when I go out for an extended period of time, because this was an hour, about an hour to go get the mail and get back again. And usually when I go out, I put a movie on for Zephy, just so she's got noise in the background. So today she got to watch, she watched it, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Michael Caine and Steve Martin. Those two together are absolutely hilarious. I love that movie. It's just a really, really good movie. And I got back just as Steve Martin was playing the character in the wheelchair, the wounded soldier thing. And he had been talking about this doctor that he had written to try and get him out of his wheelchair. And so the girl was just revealing that this doctor he'd been looking for, which of course is played by Michael Caine, had arrived. And so I got to watch from that. So I sat down with something new that I hadn't had before. So got to backtrack a little bit. So I left Dirt Run Scoundrels on, went down, got the mail, noticed an envelope in there, and I thought, oh, that's really coolly written. And the envelope was very eye-catching, and I will show you that in a minute, because it's part of my mail call from 1943. Mail call from 1943? Yes. See, it's going to keep you interested a little longer. So I went down, picked up the mail. On the way back, I have been wanting to try this place. It's called Scooters, and it's a drive-through coffee bar shop place, and a lot of people around here keep talking about how good it is. And so I'm just sort of like, and I keep, every time I go out, I go, oh, I got to go buy Scooters. Oh, I got to go buy Scooters. Every time I drive past, oh, that's where it is. And so today I decided that today was the day. I was going to go to Scooters, and I was going to get me a blended mocha. Because I got to have the chocolate in there. They didn't have a blended chocolate, but they did have a blended mocha. And I thought, okay. And of course, got the whipped cream on top. Got to have whipped cream on top. And so drove up. It's this cute little place there. It's got a Wendy's on one side, a KFC on the other, so it's kind of between. I just wanted the drink. So I asked for a blended mocha. And of course, when I got up there, they asked, do you want whipped cream? And I went, of course, chocolate, whipped cream, they just like go together. And so I started, and I pulled out of the drive-through, and I took my first sip of that thing. I was like, whoa, there's some coffee in there. They put espresso shots in there. So I am like firing on all cylinders right now. I am so ramped up on the caffeine. I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. I will definitely crash later. Hopefully earlier tonight, because I'd like to go to bed at a reasonable time. But who knows, with the caffeine coursing through my system, I don't know, because it turned out it was a double shot espresso mocha. So I'm sort of like, oh, this is going to be fun. I don't think I've ever had that much caffeine in one go. or in one day. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. But anyway, so got back here, got the mail inside, came in with my mocha, and of course Zeffie's trying to sniff it around. But she's really good. She sees that I come in, and then she goes and gets the treat that I have left for her. Oh, first she goes and gets some water, then she goes and lays and picks up her treat, and then she wants to play. And so we play for a little bit, and then she's like, oh yeah, that's right, I have a treat. So she trots over, picks up a treat, goes and lays down and eats it. And it's just a little bone thing for her that she likes to chomp on. And so she goes and does it. So I thought, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to watch, because I saw where it was in Genealogy Scoundrels. I thought, oh good, I haven't missed the bit with the sailors yet. And so I sat down with my mocha and watched the rest of the movie. And then I thought, okay, I now have to go do this contract and get the mail done and everything else. So I started working on all of that today. And but one of the things, so the new place I tried was Scooters. It was a drive-through coffee place. And now knowing how strong the mocha is, I'm not sure if I will go back again. Unless I can tell them I just want coffee. I don't want an espresso in there. That was through the top of my head. Anyway, now I've covered up my address, but I wanted you to see, and I'm sorry because it kind of distracts from the rest of the envelope, but I got this in my mailbox today. This is the flower letters. And if you haven't heard of the flower letters, these are really cool. So this is the front of the envelope. Now the only thing, actually I'll show you the back of the envelope first, and then this is the back of the envelope. Isn't that pretty? Talk about eye-catching. The address is written in the same font as this line up here where it says, kindly deliver into the care of. And then it has your name in big bold letters right there. I had name on front. And then the address is written in the same font here. The only thing that I think they need to take care of is this. Because getting a letter with, it's meant to be letters from 1943, and getting them with metered mail on there, I would like to see a real stamp here. I think that would really, really lift it. I mean, it's really cool the way it is, but I think it would be even better if they put a real stamp on here. But this was really cool. So what's inside? This is my first one. I actually subscribed. And the idea is that you get these letters twice a month via snail mail. And you're following the story of people. In this one, we're following the story of Audrey Rose and Charlie Burke. She's actually Audrey Rose Drollinger meets Corporal Charlie Henderson Burke. So we're following their story, and this takes place before June 6, 1944, which everybody knows is D-Day, which is the landings at Normandy and the invasion and all of that sort of thing. So it's taking place in there. And what's really cool is that when you pull it out of the envelope, you've got this postcard here which says welcome, because it's the very first letter. And so on the front is what the flower letters are all about. On the back is the collection that you are going to be getting, and this one says you're getting first of all, welcome to Flower Letters, a snail mail subscription that allows you to experience a thrilling story of history, mystery, adventure, and romance in a way you never have before. Over the course of the next year, you will begin receiving a story told through letters, 24 stamped, sealed letters delivered in your mailbox. That's right, the old-fashioned way. Each of our letters, our letter collection, features a cast of characters experiencing a significant event in history. You will get to experience their story through their letters mailed to you twice a month for an entire year. Here's what to expect. 24 beautifully illustrated and designed letters delivered to you twice a month for a year. 12 postcards delivered to you every other month, and every other letter for a year. And then number 3, a few other fun surprises included along the way. And you're receiving the Audrey Rose collection. And so on the back, the Audrey Rose collection takes place during World War II and is centered on one of the most significant days in history, June 6, 1944, D-Day. Audrey Rose Drollinger meets Corporal Charlie Henderson Burke at the 4th of July Army Ranger Dance in Tullahoma, Tennessee. The two soon learn they have a great deal in common, a love for their country, loyalty to the Army, and of course, an immediate attraction to one another. As the relationship develops through this is very hard font to read, so I'm doing pretty well. As the relationship develops through their correspondence, the couple moves closer and closer to one of the most prominent days of World War II. What neither foresees, however, is the significant role each will play in the day's events, and whether they'll both make it out alive. I was like, ooh, this is really cool. So that's the postcard that you get on the very first letter. Then there's the letter itself. See, beautifully folded, but I'm holding it like this because when you open the letter, inside is two little gifts. This is a magnifying glass piece thing because you need it to read this. This is the 4th of July Army Ranger swing, and inside it's a dance card. And so inside you need this to see the songs. There's 28 songs on here. Every single one has the name Charlie Burke next to every single one. So this is Audrey Rose's dance card, which Charlie Burke had, because on the back it is written, and I have to use this to read it, it is written, I thought you might like to see, might like this back. Thanks again for saying yes so many times. And he's written that on the back there. But this is her little dance card, and it's really cool. And you've got the little the magnifying glass is actually in a little plastic thingy here that you can pull out and all that cool fun stuff. So that's there. And then every letter is just a single page, double-sided. So this is the first side, and it's got up here, you know, Rangers are up here and for the dance thing. And then on the back, it's even got illustrations there as well. Now, they have done something really, really cool with this letter. So you've got this letter, but throughout the letter, there's these areas where things are written in red. And you're kind of wondering, what the heck's the red things for? Now, I've got to get the magnifying glass out to read this bit. But it says down the bottom here, let me get the lighting right. In this letter, there are some words and phrases marked in red. What do you think they mean? Gets you curious, doesn't it? So you're getting this letter in snail mail, but this is the really cool piece that they do, which I thought was brilliant. Here is a hint. Each was a popular term or word used frequently and especially by soldiers during World War II. Keep an eye out on our Instagram account, and then they've got the name of the Instagram account there, for their definitions, or check out the Learn page on our website. So not only are they sending you these really cool letters, and this is actually really nice quality paper too. Not only are they sending you these really cool letters with little gifts inside like dance cards, magnifying glasses, the welcome postcard, and you're getting a story in this letter, they are also directing you online to get more information. So they're not just engaging you with reading the letters, they're engaging you in learning more about that time in history and some of the phrases that we use, some of the words that we used in history by going to their social media pages like Instagram or to their website, which I thought was brilliant. And but the other thing that I like about this is that it got me thinking that what if you wrote letters to your grandchildren about times in history and how things and what happened? You also write them letters, and you don't have to send them now. You can send them at a later date. You can just keep them in a box for them to give to them later on. But what if you wrote letters to your grandchildren about what it was like growing up in this time now, or what it was like growing up when you were younger? You know, and I know there's still some people around who were around for World War II, but, you know, talking about different wars that have taken place over the years. There's the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Gulf War. So talking about your time through those events in history, then you've got, you know, what happened on 9/11. What major events happened during your lifetime? Why not write letters to your grandchildren about it, about where you were, what you remember about those days? Can you imagine what an impact that would have? I mean, I've read this letter today, and I am super excited for the other 23 coming. I had actually forgotten that I had signed up for this when I got this in the mail, because when I signed up for it, they were just in the process of finishing off a previous, a different storyline, and then this was going to be the next one in their series of 24. Oh, and I forgot to mention too, on the letter, this is really cool too, above the date, as you can see, July 5th, 1943, but above here it's got 1 of 24. So you can actually see which sequence you're in. And, they've got little things. They've got like a tin can. They've got like a tin that's made especially to fit 24 of these in it. So you can have your own personal little thing where it sits there and there's all these letters in that preservation tin. And I've seen some people have taken them out, put them into archive safe sleeves, into binders and things, so you can see the letter front and back. So people have come up with different ways in their testimonies of how they're preserving the letters and things. And I thought the tin was really cool. So I may or may not get it. I haven't decided yet. But I'm only up to letter 1, so give me a chance. But I thought that was a really cool way. Not only are you engaging people and they're learning history, but if it comes from you for your grandchildren or even your great-grandchildren, and you're talking about events, historical events that took place during your lifetime, can you imagine the impact that would have to your grandchildren or your great-grandchildren? I mean, think about it. One of the things that I love as being a genealogist is helping people, discover their family trees, but also tying their ancestors to places in time and history, and maybe learning something about them through a newspaper article or a journal that's out there or a book that got written about the family where you're learning about what their life was like during that time. But if you're connecting it with time, with points in history, then you can learn more about that historical time. What happened during that time? This is leading up to D-Day. What was D-Day all about? Why did it happen? What happened? I mean, it was a massive event. I know this probably sounds bad, but I love the D-Day. I love the invasion of Normandy story. Every 6th of June, I watch The Longest Day. Yes, I know it's a Hollywood type movie, but it gives you a glimpse into what was going on. But what it doesn't give you a glimpse into is all the moving pieces that were going on behind the scenes for that day to happen. That film is about that day, about the day before, then the actual day, and at the end of the day. That's all it's about. It's just this 24-hour period. But what you don't see is all the planning that went into this, all the secrecy around it and everything else, and how the heck did they manage to move 2 million troops into England and hide them until it was time to deploy them. I mean, just the thought of it, over 5,000 Navy vessels were involved in this. And when you look at the numbers, I'm just like astounded. How did they keep this so secret? So yes, that's something the movie doesn't go into, is all of the moving pieces that went on behind in preparation for this event to happen. But think about it. If you were involved in something historic that was taking place, I don't know what it would be at this point in time, but if you were preparing for something that could end up being a historic event, what were you going through at this time? This is why I love people who write journals, going back and reading their journals and things. So what if you were to write a letter to a grandchild or a great-grandchild? You may not even know their name right now. It doesn't matter. You could just call it Dear Descendant, or find some other name that means descendant, but somebody that that is going to be in your line, where you could write letters about historical events that you actually went through. Where were you at the time? How did you find out about it? What did it make you feel? And so they so that your descendants can get a glimpse into what life was like here and now. 50, 60, 70 years down the road, they can find out this information about what was life back then, because life is changing so fast. I mean, I grew up in a very different era where we had no computers. I started learning how to do genealogy research before computers came around. So I know how to do the boots on the ground, digging down into the archives and everything. I know how to do that research because I have been there. I have done it. Today, anybody learning genealogy, they're learning basically online stuff and then supplementing that with learning the boots on the ground stuff. But you learned a lot from being there in the dust. I've come out with black fingertips from handling dusty objects and things in archives and libraries and microfiche machines and all that sort of stuff. Microfiche. I used to go searching on microfiche. Some people don't even know what that is. So what was it like to learn genealogy when you had no computers, compared to what is it like now when you're doing your research and you have so many records available online, which represent about 5% of the entire record collection in the entire world that is available, not including the documents that have been destroyed over the years due to, floods and fires and other methods, just because they haven't been preserved correctly, they're just disintegrated and that sort of thing. But think about it. Think about it. So it's been a very good Shake It Up Saturday today. It hasn't been an earth-shattering Shake It Up, but there's been a lot of things that happened in there where it's like, oh, that's a great idea. Oh, I like that one. So what did you do today to shake up your Saturday? Let us know in the comments below. Yeah, go out there, have a great day. Think about writing letters to your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, even your great-great-grandchildren, people you may never know that they come from your line. Think about writing letters to them to let them know, because there are just so many stories out there that get lost. When somebody passes, all of their knowledge and everything goes with them unless they have taken the time to write out things. One thing I would suggest, even if you just do the basics, which is getting the photos and with an archival safe pencil, writing on the back who was in the photo, where it was taken, when it was taken, so that people at least know who's in the photograph. Because there are so many photographs that get destroyed because people have no idea who's in them. Oh, here's a bunch of photographs, don't know who these are. And they don't realize that they've just destroyed photos of great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, photos of their parents when they were kids. So at least do that. And if you come across one that you remember a story about, write out that story to go with that photograph. Just the basics. Who, when, and where in the photographs. Who, when, and where in the photographs. And write out stories as you remember them. There's some great books out there that are called a mother's story, a father's story, a grandparent's story, or a grandmother's story, a grandfather's story. They have questions about your life in there, like, where did you go to school? Who was your best friend when you were at school? How did you, if it's the mother's story, how did you meet dad? How did you and dad meet? If it's the grandparents, how did they meet? When did they get married? Where did they get married? Who was at their wedding? Did your parents like granddad? And grandma's one, did your parents like granddad? Questions like this that ask just everyday things about life. And they are great. So if you don't know where to start, grab one of those and just write a few words in there every other day or something like that. But at least start recording now, because tomorrow's not promised to us. Something could happen and you may not be here tomorrow and all that knowledge is gone. So start it now. And even if you just get part of your story written out, that's okay. But start. At least start. That's it from me for today. I'm going to wrap it on if I don't stop. Have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Shake It Up Saturday. Let us know in the comments below what you did today to shake up your Saturday. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for Serenity Sunday. Hey,